Hello.
Hello, this is Lou in the Horn in the morning, sometimes at night.
Legal thing. Can't talk about it. But, yeah, we're recording today on the birthday of Buffalo, 420. Also, for all our friends out there that celebrate, enjoy your festivities. Stay safe. Stay sober. No, not don't stay sober. And lots of munchies.
Lots of munchies.
Lots of munchies. But we're actually here to talk about movies and video games that have been turned into movies.
Yes.
The good, the bad, the ugly, the meh of all of them.
We like to talk about all of them, but we're going to cover a few of them at a time here.
And then the bigger titles coming out, the ones that have give us hope, and the ones that kind of take us back down memory lane. So I think that we should start with the history of video game adaptations, with the early days, the Lou Ferrigno based Super Mario Brothers show.
Yeah. Did you watch that as a kid?
Oh, absolutely. If you were a kid growing up in the late 80s, early 90s, or if you had a sibling that did, they passed this treasure down to you because you had literally Lou Ferrigno, and I'd be lying if I said I knew if I remember who the guy that played Luigi was. But you'd have the live action skits between them as Mario and Luigi, and then you would go to your animated cartoon in the Mushroom Kingdom, and then you would also get a Legend of Zelda cartoon with our boy Link just hacking and slashing and giving Ganon the business. So it was like 2 for the price of 1 in every episode. It was amazing.
I've seen clips of the excuse me, princess.
Yes. This is where our love for some of the side characters of the Mario series definitely came from. Toadstool and the such.
That's
also,
so funny.
Also Yoshi, but he's a little bit later than that.
Yeah. They had Walker Boone. He was in the Star Trek series, the 1987 Star Trek series, the one with
Next Generation.
Next Generation, yeah.
Nice.
He was the voice of Mario.
Controversial opinion. Bigger fan of the Next Generation than the originals.
I am rewatching Next Generation, and I agree. It's a lot more gripping to you and everything. Mm-hmm. I was watching this one episode where the whole planet was a bunch of drug addicts. That was freaking crazy.
Also, it gave us Will Wheaton.
Will Wheaton?
Yes, and the comedic value of Will Wheaton in Family Guy and The Big Bang Theory, I feel like that's a treasure that just keeps on giving.
Stand By Me? He was in Stand By Me?
Will Wheaton, absolutely. He was the one that was the storyteller.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, he gave us the storytelling of Lardass. Yeah, shout out to Walker Boone anyway, but and Will Wheaton, but obviously the Stand By Me is based off the body, and he plays the one that's the writer, essentially.
The writer,
the one that tells the story about Lardass.
Oh,
yes. Sticking with the Super Mario Brothers.
Yeah.
Good. There's also the bad and the ugly. We had that wonderful movie in the early 90s.
1993.
Yes. Yes, Leguizamo.
Leguizamo,
he played Luigi.
Yeah.
And then the guy from Who Framed Roger Rabbit was Mario.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the 2 movies I remember most from. And then Dennis Hopper as Koopa, which had so much potential. And then we got that dumpster fire garbage juice of a movie.
Yep.
The Goombas.
Was it Rob Hoskins?
Is that his name?
Eddie Valent? Is that
yeah.
Rob Hoskins.
Rob
Hoskins.
Hoskins. Rob Hoskins deserved better. Deserved better.
He's an English actor?
Yes.
Wow, his New York City accent was phenomenal.
Chef's kiss.
Wow, holy shit.
Absolutely.
And yeah, no, like seriously though. Fun fact about the filming of the Mario movie, they were completely wasted the whole time, like between takes and everything, drinking and everything.
I would have been
Because
wasted during takes. As a child that has grown up literally through every Mario game, including Donkey Kong before it was even Nintendo, I deserve better.
I love the boots that they used that jumped around in and everything. Those were something.
I feel like they were biting off of Back to the Future, but whatever.
bit.
I mean, let's.
Quite a bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
they were biting off of Howard the Duck a little bit too. With some of the animation or the choice of
the forgotten coolest animated duck ever.
Yeah.
And we know he should be part of MCU, but another story, another day.
Well, he is. Yeah, Seth Green voices him.
Yeah, but I need like a solo project with their boy Howard.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yes. Bring him back. Maybe not Leah Thompson anymore, but I mean, I still have a special place in my heart for her.
Leah Thompson?
Yeah, well,
hell
how
yeah.
not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Again, Back to the Future, right?
Absolutely.
Yep. That was the mom, right?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at that. Yes.
Got a little weird, but yeah, that was.
Well, I'm not Marty.
I'm not Marty either.
Exactly.
It's mom.
Exactly. Well, I mean, like that was like precursor to most people's searches on certain sites. Yeah.
It was before the stepbrother phase.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The original voice of Mario as their dad.
Yeah.
Which I thought was a very, very well played little tip of the hat, if you will. Mm-hmm. Considering now the hat is Cappy is actually part of the, I guess, arsenal of Mario. To have the original Mario actor involved in the movie, I'm glad that they were at least self-aware enough to do that for us, and fans of the original generation of Mario players, and how this is bringing in a new generation. I thought that was a very good tip of the cap there to have him be involved as well.
I agree.
I do also like the idea that it seems like they're opening up to like that whole Mario universe as well. Like it really seems like there's going to be a Donkey Kong Country spinoff at some point.
Better be. That'd be sick as hell.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Especially like that was one of my favorite parts.
That was
of the movie.
Donkey Kong.
Them going to Donkey Kong Country.
Yeah, that was.
I think
sweet.
we need to go back into that, and then Yoshi coming at the end there. So that was definitely, like I feel like they're definitely. That's where we're going with this, and if it leads to like some type of Mario Party or Mario Kart type crossover situation, sign me up. Sign me up.
Mario Olympics, Mario Tennis.
Oh, absolutely. I think the ways that you can go with it, the All Stars baseball,
right.
Any of the sports iterations that you can go. Maybe they just do that one movie or whatever, where they just maybe that's. They have to go through all the games or whatever, but like still to have all those guys, crossing over at the same time on the big screen. I think, not just for us as fans, but for the little guys and the generation coming up that maybe doesn't have the years of history with Mario. It definitely is a way to bring more eyes onto the product, and bring back those those good feels, and you know what I mean.
Right. I'd like to see a Luigi's Mansion movie too. That'd be sweet.
Yes. Maybe into the origin of how King Boo got that way.
Right. That'd be pretty sweet.
Maybe he was like Bowser's brother or relative or something, and maybe that's why he's always chilling at the castles that Bowser has.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, they could make up anything, honestly. Yeah. I'd be there for it.
Yeah, I feel like they have a blank check of my imagination at this point, and put it in whatever amount you feel is appropriate, sir.
Right. I
mean, that I'm glad that it's washed a lot of the taste of the live action adaptation out of my mouth. I feel like this is one of those franchises, especially with the advances in CGI and everything, that it's getting the platform it deserves now, as opposed to trying to fit a size 12 into a size 10.
Yeah.
It's just not going to work. You're walking pigeon toed, and it's yeah.
Right.
No more open shoes at all.
No. Yeah. So yeah, no. Anything else you want to add about Mario?
Give us Donkey Kong Country.
Donkey Kong Country would be sweet.
Yeah. I want all the generations of the Kongs. Diddy, Grandpa Kong. And
bring back the Donkey Kong rap.
Oh yes. I need him playing the bongos at some point too.
Oh, dude.
Underrated game.
That was
underrated game.
That was one of those games I never really got to play as a kid, and I'm still pissed off that I never got to play.
Yeah, that's almost
Donkey Konga. Yeah, dude.
Almost worth the search on eBay or whatever.
I got to watch some kid at Walmart play it, and he played Wild Thing. And I was like, how you're a kid and and your mom's just kind of like, okay, let's keep going and everything. But like, Mom,
I'm still on the level.
Right.
As she's pulling the controller out of your hand, and that kid behind you's just like, snitchies.
Right.
This is the opportunity I've been waiting for.
I miss those days where they used to be able to test out the games and stuff. They just recently stopped doing that. At the one Walmart by our house and everything, they used to have the tests for the
Remember
Nintendo
the height
Switch.
of civilization where you could play an N64 and a McDonald's?
Yes.
That I feel like we've gone downhill since then. Everybody tries to look at these like milestones and landmarks in society. That's about when it started to, you know what I mean. You're going down the, you know what I mean. It's the where you realize there's no more chain clinks on the roller coaster. Like, oh crap.
Right.
Yeah. Put your hands up.
This is as good as it gets, kids.
Basically. Yeah, I remember and then they took out the play place at my local McDonald's. I'm like, oh, it's getting bad.
Yeah.
Like when I can't go and catch, hepatitis or staph infection, you know what I mean, from my local, playground gym at McDonald's, then what are we really doing here, guys?
I don't know anymore.
It's a great question.
They got the McCafe. They focused on bringing everyone a Tim Hortons-y kind of like feel around here, at least. I don't know.
Yeah, you can bring me a McCafe, but I can't get a strawberry shake when I want it.
Nope. The shake machine's always broken, bro.
Yep.
Anyway.
Like my soul. All right,
so that was Mario.
Mario's definitely I feel also too because of the crossover appeal. I feel like that just last point on that. I feel like that's why we hold it in such high regard and have such a high standard for what we want out of those movies or out of those adaptations, because of the fact that it's Mario Brothers. It's literally the game that made console gaming what it is today. I mean, along with I think the next one that we're going to talk about, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh my goodness! Yes.
Where I think that because there wasn't really a movie adaptation until now with the CGI, I think that they, as much as Sega failed as a console maker and those mistakes that they made with bad deals with Sony and with Microsoft, they definitely, with their games and their adaptations of their licenses, have done a pretty amazing job. I was actually a big fan of the Sonic cartoons.
Yeah.
Growing up, like that was like a Saturday morning staple. Like I definitely, whatever character pajamas I had that particular season, bowl of cereal, and like there was a schedule. Like it was like Sonic and Friends, the X-Men cartoon, obviously. That'll be another episode. Don't worry, guys. We are gonna get to 97.
Yes.
Batman the Animated Series, the Superman Animated Series, the Justice League cartoon from back then when they first really introduced us to Jon Stewart, and we realized that there was more than one Lantern. Like that. To me, that's where my love of all this came from, because like you could go from like 6 in the morning with Dragon Ball Z when they first started bringing over the English dub versions of Dragon Ball back in the late 80s, early 90s to to the Spider-Man cartoon from the 90s and all the different story arcs and everything like that. But the Sonic cartoon was very solid because it introduced all the other characters, Tails, Knuckles, and all the other things going on there. So while those were obviously not directly correlated to the video game, they were still very, very enjoyable.
Right. Yeah, I the Sonic series I'm most familiar with, the one that came out in like the 2000s. It was like more of an anime style to it.
Yes.
That one was sweet. Like I barely remember it because like
I want to say it was like CW or WB or something.
I think it was like Fox or something like that.
Yeah, maybe it was. Yeah, I think it was the Fox Animation block or whatever.
Yeah, because like back when they were doing Saturday morning cartoons, I'm not sure if they're still doing them anymore, honestly, or if they are, it's not the same.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Like they don't have like one Saturday morning anymore, or like the Fox block or.
Well, we're talking pre-Boomerang Cartoon Network.
Yeah.
And like the advent of streaming era. So I think that's the concept of Saturday morning cartoons.
Yeah.
Are different. I mean, there's still animation being made. It's just not all together on like a morning program.
Right. It's not all like
used to be. Like
and upcoming. This is blah
like
blah.
primetime TV is
Earthworm
what it
Jim.
was.
Or whatever came out.
Yes. Another good underrated adaptation, actually, the Earthworm Jim cartoon.
Dude, it's like that with like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles or like Street Sharks or like it's just like an era of like weird mutant like creatures coming from like some chemical reaction that happened and all of a sudden they're superhero crime fighting.
Yeah, you're saying talk about chemical reaction. You can't leave out the Toxic Avengers and that.
Yeah,
that
Toxic
aspect.
Avengers or Battletoads or
Yes.
any of those.
Oh god, that Battletoads game. That Battletoads video game. If you don't know, go back, get an emulator. That it's not for the weak, guys.
It's not.
Not for the weak.
Oh my god.
Another shout out to weird cartoon from that era, Bucky O'Hare.
I've only seen that.
Yes.
I haven't really played it.
No, well, they did make a video game, but it was just a.
It was a show?
Yes, it was a show, but just going along with that era of cartoons,
okay.
just weird stuff and everything.
Yeah, it's just
like definitely was like it was a niche cartoon, but definitely was one I watched regularly.
right. Like I don't know. I just remember like this like time where it was like Bill Nye Science Guy, Ace Ventura, Earthworm, freaking Carmen Sandiego, freaking like all these weird cartoons I've never like I don't know. Like I can't even see coming out today. Like they just like it wouldn't make sense.
Yeah, no. It's, Carmen Sandiego I can though because remember that
Carmen
actually.
Sandiego.
Well, we talk about video game adaptations. Carmen Sandiego actually technically was a video game first. It was right along the veins of like when you get the free CD or whatever in the cereal. Like that was like the other one you would get besides like Oregon Trail. You know what I mean? Like it was a geography game first before, and then they had the trivia show that was on PBS with Rockapella singing like the theme song, and then moving forward, then now there's a Netflix series, an animated one, where she's like a double agent basically.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
It's actually pretty solid. Xander loved it. You know what I mean? That was his introduction to Carmen Sandiego. So you're thinking, I mean, this is a character that's endured from the 80s to now. And
Right.
This was literally an educational like geography game. That's what the original Inception was.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I love those games.
Or even think about like Doom.
Yeah.
You know, that being turned into a movie, which we don't.
No.
That we're gonna put that on the bad
Only
list.
one good scene in that whole movie.
Yes,
and
but that was originally Castle Wolfenstein.
yeah.
Yeah. Then the guy modded it, and then that's how it became Doom.
Oh.
Yeah. And then obviously Wolfenstein and Return to Castle Wolfenstein, they kind of went off their own way, and Doom went off in its own way. But yeah, that's originally how that came about as well. You know what I mean? Based off of a computer game.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we get that one scene from a movie. That might be one that needs to go in the top 5 bad. But,
Yeah. Yeah. The Rock couldn't save that one back in at that time. He wasn't as big as a superstar as he is.
He wasn't the final boss yet.
He wasn't. No.
No, he was still,
Yeah.
I think that was even before the real moment for me that made me think Dwayne is a good actor and Get Shorty. Or, I'm sorry, not Get Shorty. The sequel to Get Shorty, Be Cool.
Be Cool?
Yeah, with, it's the one with John Travolta, where he's Vince Vaughn's bodyguard in it.
Really?
Because, like, they're trying to get the one singer, like, signed and everything like that, and he's trying to get help with an audition. And he has this one scene where he's doing the monologue from Bring It On.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, yes.
Oh, my
and
God.
it is as funny as you think it is. Off camera, definitely give that
a watch. Yeah.
Give that a watch. That is the moment I knew that Dwayne can do this, because this was hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah. Definitely out of his comfort zone.
That's great.
Oh, yes.
I just saw something with John Cena. Speaking of comfort zone and wrestlers and everything like that, and that we're trailing off, but Ricky Stenicki.
Oh my goodness! Yes, we're taking a detour because Ricky Stenicki was that moment for me with John Cena.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was hilarious.
I mean, throwing aside the masturbation references, which whatever. That's one scene of the movie. The rest of that movie is beyond hilarious.
Yeah, no.
Oh my gosh! When they first pick him up from the airport, and
don't tell me it's your garbage bag. It's a trash bag. Oh, it's a trash bag.
He's like, "Oh, I heard about this on Interventions. Bite the wallet." Leather soothing. Oh, but so many good moments from that whole movie, and it caught me off guard. And I have watched a number of his movies that he's in. Trainwreck, which for the role that he played, the robotic boyfriend, he was solid in that role.
Right.
Blockers, he was actually surprisingly, witty. Obviously it's lines written for him, but I think he has an ability to deliver.
Right.
Like in comedic moments, which some guys you can tell it's forced, and I feel like he, and credit to his professional wrestling career, you're basically improvising and ad-libbing every night on live TV with what he was doing, and I think it's definitely translated for him.
I liked him a lot in Peacemaker, if you've watched that.
Oh yes. The Suicide Squad and the standalone show.
I just love, like, he like thinks of himself as like such a high, like, regard, like great superhero and everything, and in the show you slowly see that he understands how much of a piece of shit he actually is and everything, and then he just like totally like flips on himself and everything, and you just see that, and like he does this one scene where he's like in his apartment, and he's like singing to a rock song or whatever, and you just like see the pain in him and everything like that. I think that was my moment. I'm like, oh, okay, I can take John Cena a little bit serious here.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, he was so well received in just the Suicide Squad movie. Mm-hmm. That's what led to the spinoff. Mm-hmm. And
I couldn't justify it at the time, but then when I watched the series, I'm like, oh, okay, no, it's just this guy's the shit.
Oh yeah. Well, I think the biggest thing too is, for whatever reason, Warner Brothers can't get out of their own way when it comes to making movies, but for series, when they have a longer runway to tell a story, and this goes well beyond Peacemaker, but Peacemaker, gave you that the character development. Mm-hmm. Doom Patrol, Titans, for whatever reason, if you guys have Max, check out their catalog of
especially
actual
Doom
live
Patrol
action series, and you'll be pleasantly surprised. Unfortunately, they haven't been able to figure out the same recipe for success and any version of their universe that they've tried so far.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, there's a bunch,
besides
so
the
I mean, we can still keep hitting the reset button
Right.
on DC universes.
Right.
So,
Yeah. Besides their animated universe, I haven't seen anything like very successful.
No. Although one thing, and I've
years.
heard him talk about it too, that like kind of holds out hope if you're rebooting the whole thing. Let's have Momoa actually play Lobo.
Yeah.
Like
That's actually a good
I think
fit.
it lends itself the his physical appearance. I mean, even just like the way he presents himself in interviews. I'm like, this dude is Lobo, and
Yeah.
he's even said that Lobo was one of his like favorite, you know what I mean, comic book characters.
Right.
Like, I think it was from like we were saying earlier about the I think it was the Justice League or Superman series that from his appearances in that. Like, yes, please.
Yeah.
Like,
It writes itself. Just
I
like
don't even think it has to write itself. Like, you just like put this on,
Mhm.
and then you go kick people's asses, and right.
i.e. Superman.
How do you feel about cigars? Okay.
Right.
I think we're good here.
I think we're good here. Yeah. Just chew on this for a little
Right,
bit. You'll
right.
be good.
It's a little bit tougher because of the non-flaming skull thing, but like Ghost Rider, pretty much the same thing. Like Norman Reedus, come on, like Kevin Feige, what
Who is it?
Happy, the guy who plays Happy. I can't think of his name right now. The one that he does stuff with
Yeah.
the Mandalorian too.
Yeah, no, I can't remember his name right now either, and it's kind of insulting.
Yes, it is. I'm so sorry.
Shoot, man, what's his name? Not Kevin Feige. We just said his name. Directed Iron Man. Come on.
He also directed way back in the day.
John Favreau.
There you go.
Gosh darn it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why I can't.
John,
like,
I am so sorry.
yeah, dude.
Yeah, you so
Deserve
so
more.
sorry. You deserve better from us.
Nah,
Yeah.
the names escape people
Yeah,
all the time, but we can't forget that face.
Well, it is a holiday.
It is a holiday.
All right.
Anyway, but what else we got? We got.
Well, we were getting into Sonic before
Yeah.
we got distracted
We
about.
were getting into Sonic because, like
Like we were saying, the movies have been very, very close to the essence of the video games, especially
Yes.
the first, literally the 1, 2, and 3. The poster art, the actual script of the films. Yes, there's obviously big action scenes and everything like that to bring in the casual fan, but anybody that's played through any of these games, Emerald Zone, just getting the crystals,
Yeah.
everything like that. This is everything that you could have asked for
right,
in these first two movies, and then with the potential of the third movie, adding in Keanu Reeves as Shadow.
right.
You have already added Idris Elba as Knuckles.
Mm-hmm.
I have nothing but high hopes for this movie coming up
Right.
here.
Yeah. No. This is. I hope that they really incorporate the story of like how they cloned Sonic and everything with this and everything. Obviously with Shadow, that's how he's created. I'd like to see more of that edgy, like kind of like emo, kind of like Shadow. Like we're probably gonna get that out of Keanu Reeves and everything, but like make it into like that comedic, like
Yeah.
sense, like fish out of water kind of thing, kind of like they did with Elba. I
Yes.
can never say his first name.
Idris.
Idris.
Yes.
Idris.
It's like Iris with a D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It really is Idris. Oh.
But yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think Keanu. I'm not gonna act like this guy can't do any wrong. I'm sure he puts his pants on one leg at a time, like the rest of us. But the guy just understands the assignment, no matter what it is. Whether it's being John Wick, whether it's being, speaking of video game adaptations, he's the character in Cyberpunk 2077.
Yeah, yeah.
Just through the Matrix series and
Those
so many other. I mean, even going back to him being in Dracula, like the guy just understands the assignment. And I don't think he would attach his name to a project if he didn't think it was his of something that he could add to, as
Right.
opposed to, you know what I mean, feeling like taken away from the project or just being a name.
Mm-hmm.
At this point, he doesn't have to do projects he doesn't want to anymore.
Right.
you know?
No. I think that's when you reach that level of stardom and everything, and not just stardom, but like comfort between the audience and himself. You can really just kind of do roles that are more like, I don't know, suited, not just suited, but like different. And
Oh,
people
absolutely.
people will look at that and be like, oh wow, that's kind of exciting that he's doing this kid's role. Then we normally see him with a gun
Even
shooting
with
people.
that, think about Hardball. That movie came out when that kid dies. If you didn't cry, come on, man.
Yeah.
So think about that. Even like you see all these movies about the coach and redemption and everything like that. Keanu was the one that did it first and did it best. All you guys are basically still following him on that.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Hardball came out like early 2000s. I want to say like probably almost 20 years ago now. But like, you think about all those other like, Rebound and all these other like movies that guys did. They did a funny one and everything like that. Keanu did it and did it better than any of the rest of you guys. You know what I mean? Like,
Yes.
with the exception of maybe Coach Gordon Bombay, but
Right.
that's because I'm a Mighty Ducks guy. But
Right.
other than that,
Mighty Ducks, man.
yeah,
Hell yeah.
Bash Brothers all day,
All day.
all day. I was more like Mendoza. I couldn't skate and stop. It would end badly.
I was more like Goldberg afraid.
Yeah. I wouldn't want to get hit in the face with a puck either in there. So that's rational fear.
Goalie's always my favorite position as a kid up until now. Dominic Hasek era.
One side note. One time when he got traded to Detroit and wanted out of here, I was so upset about that. I was learning Russian swear words, so then that way I could like sit behind his goal and like purposely like just scream out like obscenities in Russian. Because I was like, I wanted to like.
That runs deep, man.
I learned it from Kobe. Kobe would like learn other languages so he could talk trash to them in their own language. So I was
R.I.P. Kobe, man. He just knows how to spread that.
Absolutely, that's Mario mentality at its fullest. No, I'm gonna learn French so that way I can tell you are. Sorry about that. I can tell you that you're not that guy in your own language.
Right.
Yeah, I wanted to tell Dominic that I hope that he, you know what I mean, did not live a happy time in Buffalo in Russian, in not so mild language.
Do you remember any of the Russian?
Unfortunately, Nivet.
Darn.
That'd be no in Russian.
Nivet.
Nivet. Yeah.
Nivet.
Yes. Si.
Si. Yes, in
Yes.
Spanish.
Oui.
Oui, in French. See, that's as much of all those languages as I know.
All right.
Yeah.
Ferozhaka.
Vereshchaka.
Ferozhaka. All right. So, with Sonic, I think that Jim Carrey is also an integral part of that as well, because what they've done to change the appearance of Sonic, because the original concept was just not it, and they made him into looking exactly like he does in the video games is, I think, a very, very important piece that can't get neglected, because I think that was the one time that as a fan base we threw a tantrum, we stomped our feet, and I don't want to say that the studio caved, but they listened and they realized that no, if we're really going to do this, we gotta do this the right way.
Right. Gotta have that.
And that was, it's a little thing, but it's not.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because I think it would have been one of those things like you would have been looking at like, this isn't Sonic the whole movie. You know what I mean? So like them making that little change was such a big piece to all of this. And same thing even with Dr. Robotnik, because in the first movie, yes, he was wearing the outfit, but in the second movie, they really truly started to capture the essence of Dr. Robotnik.
Yeah.
With him having the over-exaggerated mustache and the tech, and you know what I pace with the machines and everything like that. I think it definitely brought that more full circle for him. So that's another big piece of this as well. Jim Carrey, another one, understands the assignment.
Yeah, every freaking time. That's one guy that I'm more familiar with his work than I can say about Keanu Reeves. But that every single role I've ever seen him, from Grinch,
Greatest Grinch ever,
to Ace Ventura, to freaking Truman Show. What's that one where he loses his memory and he comes back to this town? I don't know. That's a great flick. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Oh, you got it out before I did that. Such a that's just it. Being able to flip that switch,
right?
Not being just a funny guy to being more of a
right.
A
even like the number 23, where he just like
underrated,
completely loses his shit in that movie.
Yes.
It's awesome. Like, have you ever seen I Love You, Philip Morris?
No,
dude.
I'm guessing that's about like Philip Morris isn't the tobacco company.
No.
Oh, okay.
He plays.
Just happens to have the same name.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's just where my mind went.
No. That's no. Yeah. I could see that. Yeah. No. He plays him and Ian McGregor. Ian McGregor is Philip Morris. Yeah. He plays this real dude. This guy.
Okay.
He is a genius. Gets separated from his parents at a young age and everything. Becomes a cop. Finds his mom. Everything. Mom rejects him. Has a family and everything. Gets married, but on the side he's secretly gay.
Oh. Okay.
His lifestyle bleeds more into his real life and everything. And this is in like the 60s and 70s.
Yeah, so I was going to say that during that era, there's a lot of men that had to live that lie or double life,
right?
You know what I mean? Because of the ignorance of society, to put it mildly.
Right.
Yeah.
So he ends up like going to jail for some fraud or whatever, and then he meets Philip Morris in jail and falls in love with him, and basically he does everything he can illegally to try and get back in touch with Philip Morris and everything, and he goes as far as faking AIDS. Like, fooled everyone in the jail and shit. Got out of jail, broke out of jail to go see his boyfriend.
One, that's pretty awesome that he was able to think of that. And
real dude.
That just shows you how much he cared about.
Right.
Philip Morris. Right.
He should be designing prisons, like, or something like that, right. Or whatever. You know, because he's escaping. Like, he escaped like more than a few times.
Oh, this happened more than once.
Yeah.
Oh, holy cow!
Yeah.
I definitely gotta have to check this.
Yeah. It's a great flick.
What is it streaming on?
I have no idea. Let's find out. Let's see. No, it's not video game related, but.
Oh yeah, no. I mean, obviously, you know.
Where are you?
See, when you're with Lou and the Horn in the morning, and sometimes at night, we take you on a journey, man.
Yeah.
It's not always linear. You know what I mean? Sometimes we miss the exit. Then you got to loop back around, get on the other side of the expressway. I mean, we'll live off the 90. Like, you're basically going to Pembroke. You know what I'm saying? You stop at the service center. You say hi to the cashier. Wanda says, "You did it again, didn't you?" And you say, "Yeah."
Okay, so it's on Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm. Nice. I have Prime.
Yeah, basically Amazon Prime.
Mm-hmm.
That's where you can watch it.
I think I will have to check that out this weekend.
It is. I thought it was a great film.
Mm-hmm.
It has some really, really, really funny freaking moments. Or like he works for this company and he just steals a whole bunch of money from them.
Oh, this came out in 2010.
Yeah. Steals a whole bunch of money from them, and they go back in the tax records, and he's just like, there's big doodles of dicks, just where like there's supposed to be money. There's some shit. But yeah, that is Jim Carrey in a nutshell, in my opinion. Just how amazing he is in that movie. I feel like if you can do, if you can break the boundaries Jim Carrey can break, you're going places and everything. I really hope he comes back for the third Sonic movie if he does, because I know he retired from acting.
I'm pretty sure that he was still attached to it as far as I knew.
Okay, good.
But I mean, I only just recently saw that Keanu Reeves was going to be attached to
Right.
Shadow. So
I just hope they bring him back and everything. Just even for like a few minutes, whatever he wants to do. I understand that he doesn't want to act anymore and he feels above it or whatever, and I get that. You grow as you get older and stuff, and he's doing more artsy stuff and everything. He went through a lot with his ex-girlfriend dying and all that, but it changed him.
Priorities change for everybody,
Mm-hmm.
So that's I definitely can't blame him for that. I mean,
No.
he's already given us a lot of memorable moments and pieces of himself. You know what I mean?
Right.
When it comes to the artwork that he's put out for us.
I just think it was beautiful. He said, "I am enough. What I did was enough." All that and everything. I was like, "Wow, okay."
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think that's a thing that all of us struggle with is like understanding the difference between our expectations versus your own.
Mm-hmm.
And it doesn't matter, in like what we as fans want. If you know that the jug is empty, then he knows better than anybody.
Right.
So, but hopefully they did a lot of that filming already,
Mm-hmm.
And that was prior to that. If not, then they'll have to pivot.
Yep. We'll find out. It's like
just like we're gonna have to find out about Marvel pivoting, but that's another episode in itself.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to do another episodes of Marvel debacle.
We'll definitely get to that. Where do we go? What in the Kang? Well, that may be the title of our next one. What in the Kang?
Can't beat yourself out of this one.
Well,
I mean, you could.
Too soon?
Too soon?
No, not really.
I don't know.
I mean, hey, kept your hands on yourself in the cab. Then never mind.
You know what?
Never mind. Yeah.
I just don't have sympathy for people who have like the world by its balls and then throws it away in a minute just by doing.
It makes you wonder how Chris Brown is still out there making music, but that's a whole nother.
That's a whole.
Again, what the Kang? We'll get into that.
Yeah.
Well, from one hit to another, we're gonna go to talk about the Mortal Kombat video game adaptations. Again, much like Mario, there's a lot of them. So I think we have to talk about the good, the bad, and the ugly of that.
Right.
And well, let's start with the good. The original Mortal Kombat movie.
Is a treasure.
Yes, not only a treasure, phenomenon. Like literally, like when that movie came out and the soundtrack came out, you could not go anywhere in the Western world without hearing that theme music, without, having people just screaming out of the top of their lungs, Mortal Kombat! Do-do-do-do-do-do-do-do. So the script of the first one got the broad strokes of the essence of the game and of the the world and the Shadow Realm and all these things, but then came Mortal Kombat Annihilation. While it introduced a couple new faces to the universe, shout out to the actress that played Katana. I hope you're not tired from running through my dreams. Moving on. But yeah, they lost me with the anamorphing into a dragon.
Yeah. He had the eye of dragon thing, whatever. He just turned into the dragon and fought Shao Kahn, and then they fought on top of the pyramid because pyramids are big parts of Mortal
Rocky
Kombat.
had the eye of the tiger.
Yeah.
Did he turn into a tiger?
Well, that wouldn't have worked.
Fair point, but
You can't fight a tiger in a ring. Imagine putting boxing gloves on a big cat like that. That'd be.
I don't think
That's some Joe Exotic stuff.
Gloves. I mean, they put boxing gloves on a kangaroo.
Murder mittens.
Yeah.
They already have gloves. I get what you're saying.
Anyway.
But yeah, no, I hear you. They don't want the dragon morphing sequence. It wasn't that great,
No,
but we oh, excuse me, I'm choking. But we got like Jax in it and everything, and he had the metal styrofoam arms and everything.
That not the best presentation of Jax.
No,
but
still my favorite. I love him. I play him.
Which brings us to Mortal Kombat.
Every game.
The web series.
Yes,
which
Legacy.
That Legacy, which had the best version of Jax, in my opinion, in it. Unfortunately, I believe the story goes that he wanted to make it a movie. Mm-hmm. No studio would do it, so he had to do it as a web series, and that's why he had to release it. And I think there were like 15, 20-minute episodes in increments, but very, very well done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Michael J. Parker as Jax. I mean, this is like right around the time he was doing The Dark Knight and Black Dynamite, and legit real life badass could kill you with like one kick.
Makes the acting that much better, in my opinion.
Yeah,
when the actor actually knows what they're doing, moving around and everything, that just makes it that much better.
He's an interesting interview. Anytime I see anything from him. Kristen Loken, who's coming off of what was it, Voyager? Mm. Kristen Loken being Sonya Blade in that version, and that was right about the time she was the Borg.
Yeah,
and then also she was the Terminator in the Rise of the Machines.
That was a good
as well. That
good patch for her.
Yeah.
Got her some change.
Yeah, her being Sonya in that, very solid. Mm-hmm. It took a different approach. It strayed away from the game lore a little bit and put it into a more real world concept and re-imaging of the franchise, but very, very solid. Only 2 seasons. Would have been nice to see them expand on that, or at least, you know what I mean, put it together, maybe make a theatrical release of it, but definitely was better than a lot of other adaptations that we've gotten throughout the years.
Yeah, especially the most recent one. I did not enjoy that one as much as I thought. Like, I rewatched it and everything, and I liked the scorpion scenes in it.
Yes.
Those were the best parts, but then they just, I don't know. It was like a prequel. It felt like Mortal Kombat prequel. Like they're going to introduce Johnny Cage into the second one. They have Carl Urban. Is that the guy who... Yeah, Carl Urban. He's going to play Johnny Cage.
Which...
I wanted The Miz so bad, but hey.
Absolutely. The Miz is basically the real life... I almost feel like The Miz created that character for wrestling based off of Johnny Cage from the 90s games.
Right.
Like, the similarities are just so there.
Right.
Nothing against Carl Urban.
Man.
We could go over his catalog a lot, and he's been in a lot of great things and a lot of great movies. I just don't see it, one. And then 2, goes back to, like, are we just putting him in there because he's a name, or we really think that he can play the role and be the essence of the role? Nothing against him.
No.
He's been a great actor for a number of years.
Right.
And he's actually tied to part of another franchise that was a movie, then turned into a video game, and Pitch Black and the Chronicles of Riddick. But
that's right. He was that the one I can never remember their freaking
Necromonger.
Name. Yeah.
He was the second in command, and obviously he plays a part in the third one as well, but it just I feel like that unless they show me something else in the second movie, I think that when they rebooted the Mortal Kombat franchise, they didn't reboot it along with the rebooting of the game itself and the game's rebooting of its lore when they went back to Mortal Kombat 1.
Yeah.
I think that's my biggest issue with it currently, with the way that the latest movie
You think they should have synced up with the games?
I would have liked to see it because it was rebooted right about the same time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that they were trying to keep too many elements from the old games and movies without doing the research on the changes that have been made in the game's lore.
The last, not Mortal Kombat 1, but the 3 games that came out prior to that, I freaking loved the storyline for it. Like, it was...
Absolutely.
Like, when Liu Kang became the fire god...
11, 10, and...
Yeah.
And,
When Liu Kang became the fire god after years of getting stomped on, killed, brought back from the dead, killed again, like
he was becoming the Kenny of the Mortal Kombat
right, dude.
universe. Like, oh my god, they killed Liu Kang again.
Right.
Yeah.
They even had Raiden kill him at one point, and then they, after all the disrespect, he finally comes back and everything. I'm just like, yeah, Fire God, Liu Kang. Like, I was just so hyped, man. I was jumping up and down in my living room when I was playing that shit.
Right.
I just don't understand what they made in the new movie. They made Liu Kang not even like a primary character. They replaced him with the stand-in guy with the golden arms. I can't even remember his name right now or whatever. You know who I'm talking about? No, you don't, because like he wasn't even relevant to like the story, and they just kind of brought him in. He was like Scorpion's great.
Look at my face. Yeah, see.
Trying to describe
you guys
everything.
will eventually get the video recordings of this too, but the what the F are you talking about look that I'm giving you right now.
Yeah, no, yeah. Because like I can't remember the guy's name right now.
To me, it's like trying to tell a Spider-Man story without Peter Parker.
Right.
Like, okay. Whatever.
I'm not even trying to look up his name because I'm not interested.
That's how insignificant he is.
It's just terrible. But yeah, no, like besides the Scorpion scenes fighting Sub-Zero, or that was really it. Like I couldn't really get into the last Mortal Kombat movie as heavily as I could get into like the first two, and because the first two had this weird thing. Oh, it was fun. There
you go.
Fun as fuck.
Right.
Like.
I mean, at the end of this is supposed to be entertainment.
Yeah.
If it's not entertaining, I'm tuning it out.
Right.
Especially with the day of streaming services where I'm not actually going to the movie and I've already bought and paid for my access to this.
Right.
No, sorry.
I've come to forget about life. If I'm looking at my phone halfway through or whatever, barely paying attention, we have problems.
Exactly. If I'm taking the time to actually go to a movie theater to see this movie when I have the option to watch it at home because I have, whether it be Max or Paramount Plus or Peacock or name your service, then it better be worth it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well, thank goodness that they streamed it through Max, because if I would have seen that in theaters, I would have been done. Or,
especially because and I know there's you have choices and entertainment dollars and everything like that, but we're your core audience.
Yeah.
If you're not keeping us, you know what I mean, happy with the product, then what does it matter about getting the casuals?
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you want those repeat dollars, you want those repeat customers, and you're not getting that if you're just putting dog shit out there.
Right.
I mean, I got a dog at home, man. I barely want to clean up that crap. You think I want to clean up this nonsense?
No.
But here we are.
Right. And here we are to talk about it, you know?
Exactly.
That's all we really can do.
Well, I think we covered pretty much everything that we need to say about Mortal Kombat at this point.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat is one of those series is pretty self-explanatory at this point, you know?
I feel like wait and see on the next one.
Yeah.
Well, I think that brings us to, or at least brings me to another although it was based off a comic book, I would be intrigued by this. Just gonna throw it out there, if they would make this into a live action movie, and it may be a way to take the DC universe and out the fire. Make a show or a movie based on the Injustice storyline from the games.
Damn, that would be great. A show.
I mean, like we're at a point with video games here where we're having like legit voice actors and legit production being put into these cutscenes, which is, basically the same type of stuff you're seeing in a lot of these animated and CGI, based movies, like
right.
the live action Disney stuff that they've been doing. Why can't we just, you don't even have to do much. Okay, take the fighting game element out of it and just literally, okay, we're just gonna, make this into our DC movie. And I think, especially because unless you've played the games or read the comic books, it's such untapped, potential with the storyline.
Right.
Especially with like Superman being not so super.
No.
At least super as a person.
Right.
Still pretty super in the way he's kicking the crap out of everybody.
Right.
But yeah.
Nope.
Especially with the way that they did and insinuated it in Batman, Superman versus the Batman.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'd be a pretty solid way to go.
Right. I would love to see an evil Superman on big screen at one point, but yeah. I don't know if we're ever gonna get that.
Will we ever get it? Can you present the Superman as something beyond that?
Right.
But
people went in hysterics when they did Red Sun.
Yeah.
Like they were like, well, besides Russia, the country itself, but like people were like,
they were cheering for that. They were like, yeah. They're like, make us look strong. I think that's when they went into Ukraine right after that.
Right.
Maybe we gassed them up a little too much.
Yeah, it was too much of that.
I kid. I have no inkling what's going on there or bearing on it.
We're
just
not
a joke.
We're not in the war room right now trying to decide.
I don't
what
have
to
a
do
horse
with
in that
Zelensky.
race. Don't come for us.
No.
Just want to make sure we get that out there.
Right.
But yeah, I really feel Injustice would be a video game that's worth adapting into a movie. Just because how the storyline would translate, I feel. But then, like, there's also other video games that they've done some type of adaptation to.
Right.
And now I just want more. Like let's take Castlevania for example. They've now this goes into would it translate to live action? I think it could, but I don't even need that with the animated ones that we've had. Shout out to the Netflix series that they've done. They just did the one about Richter, and they also had the one about the Symphony of the Night with Trevor Belmont. I'd honestly like to see them do Simon or Leon. Like especially Simon, because Simon is the standard bearer of the series. I mean,
is he? I don't know too much.
Simon is the original 3 games that were on Nintendo.
Oh, okay.
It's Simon.
That's
Or I think Leon may be the first one, but Simon's Revenge is the second one.
Okay.
And then but the elements that were introduced in Castlevania 2, like change gaming. You know what I mean? Like there was night and day.
Yeah.
In that game, you know what I mean? Like things like that. You had to like go out and basically have a scavenger hunt to go find different parts of Dracula to bring them back. You know what I mean? Like,
damn.
Yeah, like dude, it was like one of the first games with like a rank up system. You know what I mean? Yeah, like the elements of Simon's Quest that are still used in gaming today is like everywhere. But yeah, Simon Belmont is like the guy.
The guy.
You know what I mean? Like so to give him Simon his flowers, I think would be great.
That'd be
what I mean? Trevor's been in a lot of games, so I think that's why they did him first. And then same thing with like Richter. You know what I mean? He's one of the earlier Belmonts, but I think that'd be a great one for Simon. And then also, too. You know, and like they mentioned about Richter's mom being a vampire hunter as well. You know, and that you can do a series. You know what I mean, about when Juiced was raising his mom.
Yeah.
You know, and so there's a lot more potential of different iterations of the Castlevania universe that they can go with, and been very, very well received. It really watches like a lot of the good animes from the 80s and 90s.
It really does have that 80s, 90s anime feel.
Reminds me a lot of Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah.
You know, and but just with the setting in that time period in Europe. You know, so I'm all for more of that. And the fact that they add into the fact that the Belmonts were really kind of like the Van Helsings of that universe, and they have like the whole like history of like the generations that they bring in, about how they were doing this for generations, and
right,
the different weapons and everything like that. So I definitely think that that's something that they can keep even touching on more. You know.
Yeah. I've only watched the first season of Castlevania, admittedly, and from what I've seen of that, that was just some of the best like shit I've seen. I'm like, wow, I wanted to go back and play some of the games that like I was just like, this is. If it's anything like this in the game, like I would definitely go back and.
The storyline's a little bit deeper in the show, but yeah, definitely Symphony of the Night is definitely one of the better iterations of Castlevania that they've made, especially using Alucard.
Yeah,
you know, and that's you know, and Dracula's son is you know, and he's pretty great in the game and in the show. You know, and so yeah, it's definitely worth finishing up.
Yeah, definitely. But what else we got here? Anything else you want to add on to here? Did you want to mention what your top 5 are? Or?
Well, yeah. I mean, we got a bunch of ones coming up that I think that have a lot of potential.
Yeah.
And I think that, you know, and of the stuff that's either coming to the big screen or to, you know, being episodic, I think it goes without saying, I think Fallout's pretty solid.
Yeah.
From what I've seen of it and what I'm hearing from people. Haven't watched all of it, but it's sticking to the essence of the game.
Oh yeah, buddy.
So I think that's a really good move for that. So shout out to Amazon Prime on that. That's
they killed it with that series, man.
I didn't think that it was going to come off as well as it did, and it has. And you know, I think we're leaving out one little thing here.
What's that?
The Street Fighter movie.
Which one? The Chun-Li?
No. No. The one that unfortunately came out my birthday, the day I turned 13.
One with I can never say his name. Julia Raul? Is that
Raul Julia?
Raul Julia. That's right.
Put some respect in that. I'm sorry about that.
But That's okay. That is the only good thing of that movie.
Yeah.
His monologue talking to Chun-Li, telling her that for you it was the worst day of your life. For me, it was Tuesday. Is so classic, Raul Julia, and he deserved better. But he was trying to do something great for his kids before he passed away from cancer. And you know, bless him, and I hope he's still resting in peace.
Yeah. But
the rest of that movie was garbly. Gook.
I only remember watching it on TV when I was a kid.
You shouldn't.
I just at the end where they all just walk out of the jungle or whatever. I think or after that's all I remember. I just remember the end.
Good. Good.
That's all I remember. Did they have Guile in that?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember
a blonde guy. You know who played him?
Who?
Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Really? He played Guile?
Damn.
Goddamn.
No, not goddamn. Van Damme.
Oh, shit.
No, seriously, though. Really? He played him? Did he have his hair?
not like as pronounced, but yeah.
I want that flat top. That thing was amazing.
It was flat.
Yeah?
The movie was flat.
The movie was flat.
Not yeah.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Cammy was played by Kylie Minogue, the singer.
Shoot. Yeah?
Yeah, like do the locomotion and I just can't get you out of my head.
Yeah.
Nah.
Really?
Yeah.
That was same.
The Australian famous international singer?
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yes, also part-time actress. She did some TV work in Australia, but yeah, she was Kylie Minogue. Cammy was. Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like the only two good parts about that movie. Because she literally looked and sounded like what Cammy should, because she's British,
right?
And her being from Australia, the accent wasn't a problem for her. But
no,
yeah, other than that,
night and day.
There's really the guy that played Balrog was horrible. I will say the guy that played Sagat was like legit, like kind of like okay, he's a believable Sagat. But like my man wasn't really doing any like Muay Thai, kickboxing, nothing. It was.
Did he have the fight with Ryu?
No.
Damn.
No, you don't really. Yeah, no, dude, this
was that bad, huh?
So bad.
Oh my god.
Bad.
Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I want to go back and watch it, but like at the same time, I'm not going to.
I'll tell you, watch the animated one. The Street Fighter 2, the animated movie, way better. Way better.
Was that the
same one where they end with M. Bison chasing him in the truck?
Yes.
That was a phenomenal
movie. Yeah, right. There's other ones. There's like I think there's a Street Fighter Alpha animated movie. That's where I think Akuma comes into play and everything like that. But yeah, the animated Street Fighter universe very well. I would be okay to them redoing a Street Fighter with the way that they like redone this newer one.
Right.
But like I need like the actual like complemented cast of characters and everything like that. But yeah, other than that, I'm pretty okay with them never touching
Street Fighter again.
It just
I don't know, man.
Yeah. So I mean that the Street Fighter 2 might be, or well, I don't even think it was called Street Fighter 2, but just the movie Street Fighter was maybe the worst adaptation that I can think of. I mean, this is going back a bunch of years. If you're one of our younger viewers and you've never seen it, don't.
Right.
Two other series from the 90s I think that we should touch. The Lara Croft Tomb Raiders. Well, I'm sorry, early 2000s. The Lara Croft Tomb Raiders. And with Angelina Jolie.
Yeah.
And the Resident Evil series before that thing just took on a mind of its own.
Right.
Let's start with the Lara Croft ones. I know that they deviated a little bit from the video games itself, the early ones anyway.
Right.
Very, very enjoyable movies still to this day.
Yeah. I haven't watched them. Those are ones I haven't sat down and got
you know what? They were from the early 2000s.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean. But especially the earlier PlayStation 1 Lara Croft games, because they've rebooted her I think twice now.
Yeah.
But they're pretty accurate to like her just being this badass archaeologist type, like female Indiana Jones type, like she's gonna get, you know what I mean. So Angelina Jolie playing her, she obviously, because of some of her physical features, to put it mildly, definitely was probably the right person for the job.
Yeah, she fit that role.
I mean, let's put it this way: the first Lara Croft movie did $274 million.
What?
Yeah, the second one did $156 million.
Still a lot of money.
Yes. So yeah, I mean, like they definitely were pretty solid. I think. Oh, another one that I think that we need to give some kudos to is the Silent Hill movie. That actually
That wasn't bad.
was pretty solid.
Yeah,
and pretty.
The first one that they came out with.
Yes.
The second one
Yes.
I didn't see. I think that went straight to DVD or whatever. But yeah, no, that first one was.
But yes, the first Silent Hill movie definitely, I think, is one of the. And I think that's where, like, I think it depends on the genre of game.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's important to think about too. Certain stuff translates easier because you already have a genre for horror or suspense or action or whatever. So like certain games, a lot easier to translate than others. And I think Silent Hill was just like the perfect storm. It followed in that Resident Evil vein. It was, you know what I mean, a standalone game. You know what I mean? And then, you know, so it could be very easily tied in a bow. And then, like, with the Resident Evil games, I think my biggest thing will always with that is that it wasn't about Tiffany Valentine and that story arc, because essentially, like, that's, you know, Tiffany Valentine and Pine, right? Or, Chris. No, Redfield, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I was thinking of actor name, not the character from.
Oh.
But yeah, Chris Redfield and Tiffany Valentine, like, because they're the two main people in the first couple of games. So there was a lot of elements of those games, but I think when they kind of branched off, you know what I mean, and went on their own story arc for the Resident Evil movies, that's where they kind of lost me.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, because even at the end of the first one, Alice, I believe, was the character that Mila Jovovich played. When she wakes up in Raccoon City, I'm like, okay, cool, right, we're you know what I mean? We're going where Resident 2 picks up, but then that's about the last point that I'm like, and then they just went completely off the beaten path.
Right, they started just doing their own freaking
Exactly.
thing.
So I think it kind of always
Becoming the Fast and Furious of the horror
the
franchise.
zombie world. Here.
Zombie world, yeah.
Well, guess what? Now your zombie can talk and do mathematical equations. You know,
Right.
right. So zombie has now out zombied you. Like what?
Right.
Yeah, right.
Think about that.
Yeah. Right. Right. Now you're the one chasing the zombie for the brains.
Right.
Right. Yeah. No.
Well, they're off in their own zombie civilization, building a society for them.
Right. You know, trying to make plant-based brains and shit.
Right. That'd be so funny, actually. It's a pretty good concept. Like, we're actually the ones trying to build... Actually, that's how I Am Legend ends in the book. Believe it or not. That's they execute Robert Neville.
And, yeah, because he's the bad guy in that.
Yeah, he's the bad guy.
I wish people remembered that.
Yeah.
Like, he is the bad guy.
Yeah.
Don't make Will Smith, like, you know what I mean, quoting Shrek, make you think that he's a good dude. No. Mm-mm. That's why they don't like him. He made them like that.
Yep.
Killed a lot of dudes. All right.
The biggest, game from my youth, but definitely a very intriguing title would definitely be Comic Book Zone.
Yes.
Or Comic Zone.
Comic Zone.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mentioned this off camera previously, so we're gonna put it back out there. I feel like if Nick Nemeth, if you're not busy doing indie dates, I think that's something you may want to look into, my guy. Always a big fan of your work as Dolph Ziggler, but I think that he could definitely pull off the character very well.
Right.
His gimmick in the wrestling world, I think, lent itself to that character. A little cocky, a little braggadocious, and I definitely think that he could pull it off.
If this was the 90s and this was just coming out, I would say Woody Harrelson.
Ooh. See, Woody be a good one. I didn't think of Woody.
He just looks a lot like him back in the day when he did Natural Born Killers.
Yes.
Long hair and circle glasses and stuff.
The only other person I would suggest as a counter if we're going 90s casting,
Val Kilmer?
Yes.
Hell yeah, dude.
I mean,
that'd be so sick.
I don't even think I need to, Heat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Freaking Tombstone.
Right.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Well, he has long hair.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
because that's the only reason I think that. You know what I mean? Because because in the opening scene when he's just chopping him down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that one in a long time.
Oh,
Either.
the gunfight choreography in that is the standard bearer of so many other things. Like, it's still such a great movie, such a great cast too.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, yeah, Val, Woody definitely would have been
Right.
good for that.
Yeah.
Even the actors now, there's a couple I could see pulling it off.
I like that. Maybe that one dude who in Breaking Bad plays Todd.
Oh yeah.
If he grew out his hair a little bit and everything.
He'd be a good one.
He'd be a good
I
one.
was thinking of another guy. If he grew out his hair, that'd be solid for it.
What?
Evan Peters.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, that guy's got acting. I don't even want to say chops. You know what I mean? He's like the acting evil Dr. Porkchop.
Right.
And
The guys, there's some screws loose or something like that. Just makes him creepy and just
everything that guy's done.
Right.
American Horror Story, Mayor from Easttown.
He was in the Jeffrey Dahmer series, right?
Yes, he was Dahmer. And even going back even further, I think he was. What is he? The friend in Kick-Ass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
Think about those three guys. Seriously. All right. As a side note, think about those three guys. Paul Dano.
Yeah.
Aaron Johnson. Whatever his hyphenated name is. The guy that's about to play Craven and played, in Pietro and all that stuff. Very solid actor. He's grown up to be, and Evan Peters. Yeah, on a throwaway movie that nobody thought was gonna catch,
right?
And nobody thought was gonna be that good, based off a comic book, mind you. But all three of them are like super like great and like household names now,
right?
All off a movie that nobody thought was gonna be anything. You know what's even crazier?
What's that?
You know who the adoptive father of Hit Girl is in that?
Yeah, is that Nick Cage? Oh wait,
No,
that's real dad.
That's her dad.
No.
Former partner.
Yeah,
became the adoptive father of Hit Girl.
Yeah. No, who is he?
That's Ghost from Power. That's Omari Hedwig.
What?
Yes, dude. Yes.
That's another series I haven't sat down and really watched.
Definitely watch it. But,
yeah.
You know what I mean? But you're aware of the show. And
yeah, I'm aware of the show.
Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's the guy that plays Ghost.
Oh, sick.
Well before, you know what I mean, Power came out. But yeah, I went back and rewatched the movie. I'm like, holy crap. I'm like, that's Ghost. Oh, crap.
That's the guy.
Like, it's a big, rich town. But that movie produced a lot of talent.
Yeah.
And Nicolas Cage was like the only dude you really knew in that movie at the time. Because, this is back when Aaron was like late teens, early 20s, I think.
Right.
Oh, Paul Dano and Evan Peters had to have been just in their early 20s at the same time, too. So
was that Paul Dano?
I'm pretty sure that's the one that plays the Riddler in the Batman. Yeah.
I know who Paul Dano is. I just didn't know he was in Kick-Ass. Are you sure it's not Clark Duke?
Oh, maybe it is Clark Duke. Oh, okay.
Still a good actor.
Yeah. It's the round face and the glasses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clark Duke.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, you got Alan Taylor Johnson.
Chloe Grace Moretz.
Yeah. That's the one that he's obsessed over. And then you got Christopher, what was it, Mintz? Yeah, and you got him playing the
Red Mist or whatever.
The Red Mist, yes. The gangster's son. Yeah.
Let's see what else. Yeah, Omar Hardwick.
Yep.
Mark Strong.
Yeah, he plays the gangster.
Yeah.
Dude, he's great.
He is great in it. Yeah. That was a solid cast.
You remember when they put the guy in the wood compressor thing?
Yeah.
Like they're like, put it on like 10 minutes. And they blow the guy up.
Yeah.
Just the dialogue. You're like, why was I supposed to know what to put him in for? He vaporized the guy.
Yeah, seriously.
Oh,
that was graphic.
Graphic, but in a morbid, weird way, funny.
It's like in Departed when Jack Nicholson's like, he felt funny.
I'm glad that I looked at you before because I definitely was about to spit out my drink.
That's what I think of when like moments like that. He's like, he felt funny, and he's like, that's really fucked up, Frank.
It's true.
It is true.
It's true.
But those are those morbid, funny moments that everyone kind of just looks back at and just laughs a little bit.
Yes.
Just like, maybe I shouldn't be laughing, but I'm laughing anyway.
I just laugh at this point. And what's wrong with you? No meds today. And then, people don't ask questions much after you just hit them with that one.
Right.
It doesn't even have to be like legit meds. You just say no meds today, and then people just kind of give you the benefit of the doubt.
Like, oh, bless your heart, bless your soul. So yeah,
How about bless my pockets?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
Anything.
Then you can bless our pockets.
Mm-hmm.
Send us money. That'd be really great.
Another one, I don't know how close or whatever, but just based off of the actual game itself, if we're turning this into a movie, I am excited for Ghost of Tsushima. You're turning that game into a movie?
Based on the PlayStation game?
Yeah. Game, yes.
Yeah.
Give me all of that.
Wanted to play that expensive-ass game, but it's expensive.
Side note, I have that for
You have it?
PS, and yes, you can definitely borrow it. I'll bring it next time.
Oh, thank you.
Yes. Xander, like that, I watched Xander play. That's why I'm all about that life. I don't like trying to like think about rumors too much, but
yeah,
apparently they are talking about a Legend of Zelda film.
Oh man.
Okay, so here's the thing. Hypothetically, we're playing devil's advocate.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say they are actually doing this.
Right.
Thoughts on it? I am a big believer of I won't believe anything until I see it, but I also understand that it's one of the it's been so untouched except for the cartoon from the 80s Mario Brothers show,
right,
that I feel like it's like the last the last frontier, so to speak. There's actually two from Nintendo that are kind of been untouched in that, and then I'll speak on the second one after.
I think I have an idea what the second one
you
is.
already know what the second one is because we've spoken many times about how I feel that she should have her own movie. All right, so it says here by November 23, Nintendo was developing a live-action Legend of Zelda film with Sony Pictures. Oh God,
Sony. Have we not learned our lesson?
And which will co-finance and distribute the project worldwide. Okay, yeah, as long as they're fitting the bill, maybe that'll be okay. Wes Ball has been attached to direct the film. He did The Maze Runner.
Oh, okay.
And he's actually doing the upcoming Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes.
Looks pretty okay.
Okay. I mean, I'll watch that and we'll see what Wes is all about.
Right.
All right. So then, and Shigeru Miyamoto and AVR Rod will be producing alongside Ball and his producing partner Joe Hartwick through their Oddball Entertainment Company. Although the casting has not been announced, Patricia Somerset, who had previously done voice work for Princess Zelda, said she would like to reprise a role for the character. I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
Hunter Schafer also expressed interest in playing Zelda. Who is Hunter Schafer? Okay, Hunter Schafer is... she played Jules Vaughn in Euphoria.
Oh.
And she also portrayed Tiger Snow in The Hunger Games. Okay. All right, so good for her.
Yeah. I wanted this is like long time ago. The dude who plays Vecna, Stranger Things. He could have potentially been a
Link?
good Link.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. See that, and that's a great question. Okay, how old? I think that before we even get into the casting, what version of Link and Zelda are we talking about here? Because we always talk about that is that it's not the same Link.
Right.
And they're different. I mean, one worlds or different timelines. I know that Nintendo, not realizing how they kind of shot themselves in the foot, has tried to actually make a chronological order, because it's like the Hero of Legend or the Hero of Time, like in the Dragon Warrior, Dragon Quest series, where it's the same guy but it's not. You know what I mean? Or like it's just like the guy picking up that mantle at that point. What version of Link are we doing? Let's start there. What storyline or game are we basing it off of here? I have my ideas on which order I would like preference to see of the games getting an adaptation.
Yeah.
In no particular order. So I think the 3 adaptations, if we're gonna do Legend of Zelda, obviously this is hypotheticals, movie or series, Ocarina of Time, Breath of the Wild / Tears of the Kingdom, which I think if you did that, I think you'd kind of have to do it as a series and multiple seasons, obviously.
Right.
You know, over, you know what I mean, for the second game as well, because they are a continuation, which was so rare in, you know, in the Zelda, you know, history. You know, it wasn't until very late in the series that you started getting any that actually corresponded to each other. So usually you have to pick like one particular game's story and then go from there. I think A Link to the Past as well, story-wise, like, because that was done on the SNES, so you're talking 16-bit, but the story of the game, if you could bring that to either the small screen or big screen, I think that would be a good one as well.
Yeah. I don't know. I would like to see any of them at this point. I'm really. It doesn't really matter, I guess, to me, as long as it isn't like just like a random story that they just cooked up or whatever. I mean, that's probably what they're gonna do anyway. You know, at a point they're probably gonna be like, oh, we borrowed elements from this story and that story, but like they're still probably just gonna like, you know, do their own thing from what appears as like they've always done with movies.
I think you hit it on the head there, because like you're going to combine the powers and lore of Ganon, for example, over like from what 3 or 4 games. So you make him into this like omnipotent thing, you know, and he just defeats him easily and everything like that. When it's a little bit different,
Right?
It's more nuanced than that. You know, and like if that's what I was saying with like the particular games, you can really get it like deeper into the backstory of that particular one. And with the Breath of the Wild and the Tears of the Kingdom, because it's over 2 games, you could really, you know, flesh that out a lot better.
Right. I feel like that those 2 most recent games had like the most cohesive like story, like that could be easily adapted into a movie if they were to do that. Besides, I mean, I guess they could do Ocarina of Time, but it was still kind of like that open worldly back in the day, where it was just like too open. So like they would have to make shit up and bring stuff in and everything to fill in some gaps. That could be a good series, though.
Right.
If they like wanted to do that.
But I guess it really, if they're doing just a movie or if they're doing like a series.
Imagine like they actually like show you have to Link have to go back through time to go and complete a side quest or something. Like he's just like, oh shit, like just I have to go back and be a kid again.
Like kicks a chicken, they all follow,
Right.
Follow after him.
Right, fucks it up. He has to go back through time and just fix it. But I don't know.
Yeah, you're going to be sacrificing something when you're doing an adaptation or converting something to a screenplay or whatever the case may be. So
Mm-hmm.
it's like you said, you're just happy to see it. You know what I mean? But what are we going to?
Right. I'm happy to see it, but I just don't want another like Dragon Ball Evolution or something like that. Like it's just like this is great, I guess.
Right.
In 1990, nope, not even then. I'm sorry. Damn.
Doesn't matter. We don't really speak about that.
That's true. Yeah, turn up the gain a little bit on you.
There's no need to speak about that movie. Just that, yes, it exists, and that's about it.
Well, yeah, but you like wanted it to be good. That's like the point. Like you just like you went there, you spent your money, you sat up really close, you realized that you're the only ones in the movie theater, something's wrong, and then you watch the movie. That's how I learned.
I wanted Santa to be real.
Oh, you're gonna go that low? I cried when I found out Santa wasn't real.
That's what I'm saying. That's much how I felt about when I watched Dragon Ball.
Cried a little?
On the inside, yes.
Yeah.
But that's we want all these adaptations to be good, but that's why there's a bad list too. I just don't want a franchise like that to get put on the put into a movie and then have it be in the Street Fighter category or Dragon Ball category.
Right. We should have a rating system like based off of like, is it good or is it Dragon Ball Evolution?
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think there's levels to all of it. Like, and obviously, I think with that we're getting more series and things of that nature. I think you're going to see better product overall because you're
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's funny. We talk about we won't sign them for a 4-hour movie, but we'll sign them for 8 1-hour episodes. But at the same time, it allows you to tell a bigger tale.
Yeah.
And
They're just lucky we just don't like protest these people to their homes or something like that. Go crazy.
I'm sorry.
I said they're lucky we don't go to their homes and get crazy about this, because what they did with Dragon Ball and Avatar was crazy. I know we're straying off of video games again, but like.
Oh no, and that's where us. You. It's not even about placating the fan base. Like you can't just make just egregious errors with, what I mean, these intellectual properties.
No.
That's more of the pitchfork and torches feeling of it. Like, what are you doing?
Right, like what we discussed about what they did with Sonic.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
The whole internet just up and.
That's right. How can you up and change this whole aesthetic?
Right.
Yeah, no. And it's the same thing with like the franchises you just mentioned. Like that's not Aang.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, what is this?
I'm sorry. They called him Ong in the movie. I believe his name was Ong. My name is Ong. I was like, yep, I'm out. Yeah. I wanted to leave at that moment.
Have you watched the Netflix version?
Yes, it wasn't bad. It was it was halfway decent. I mean, you're not gonna get the cartoon,
no.
But like for what we got, it was pretty good. Like I would have done some things different. The love story thing definitely would have kept with Aang and Katara, but like whatever. I'm not a writer. I think.
I would like to hope that they're gonna at least have it be a few seasons long, so that they're not just like completely, just passing over certain parts of the old series, But it goes back to that if we're doing a season, you get instead of doing a movie, you know what I mean, the translation works a little bit better.
Right.
You know, and I think that's a newer era that we're in with, you know, in all of this media, you know, video games, comics, um, cartoons. You know, you're switching from live action from one medium to another. You know, and it allows you to tell a better tale. If you have more than just 2 to 2.5 hours,
Right.
you know, to tell it in a theater, because you have to tell a certain type of story when you're putting it as a theatrical release, as opposed to something available episodically, you know, on a streaming service or, you know,
Right.
what have you. And I think it allows, you know, us as fans to appreciate it a little bit better. I mean, there's still a lot of miscues, but it's not a coin flip anymore.
Right.
I don't think. You know what I mean?
I think honestly, like what you brought up a good thought in my head. Anime has a good formula or whatever for one-off movies. Like movies that aren't necessarily connected to a series, like Cowboy Bebop has one. It's not necessarily connected to the series itself, but it's like a movie. Dragon Ball Z has like a thousand, like or like 20 or whatever. But like the list goes on and everything of like different like shows and stuff that like have one-offs that aren't necessarily related to the IP, but still represent it in a way that's like phenomenal. So maybe like if they figured out a way to like combine whatever they do with anime and bring it over to the West a little bit more and stuff, like maybe just the storytelling or the direction or something like that, because like those one-off stories like sometimes are just either better or just as good as like the TV show itself, and they're not necessarily related to the product.
Oh, definitely, I agree. It's like the side quests, you know, and like in the games, you know what I mean. You could do essentially like seasons or episodes about that, and then, you know what I mean. Like you said, you're getting the story, but you're not necessarily taken away from the actual story,
Right.
You know what I mean. So it allows, you know what I mean.
It's like a filler arc or whatever.
Right. You know, much like with like what they've been doing with like a lot of the Star Wars stuff.
Right.
You know what I mean, like with Andor and you know what I mean.
Yes.
So it's
that's a
it's
good
not
example.
affecting the main A, B, and C. It's just like the B.1.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or whatever,
Right. It's just
or
a little.
how we got to B.
It's like a day in life or whatever, in like well, Andor specifically is more of the end times, but like
Right. But it's like, you know, a story about a specific character that you grew attachment to from another movie. You know what I mean, or another.
some like little small, or you heard about this guy or like the team, like in Rogue One. Is I think is a great example.
Because you feel more attachment to those characters in one movie than you do to some characters through 6. You know, and that's, you know, just it's more about the average person. Like it's more relatable to, you know, the average man, I guess. You know.
Yeah. We talked about a lot of different things. Tried relating back to movies that are video games that are being made into movies or TV shows. We covered a little bit of our favorites and everything from there. Hopefully we can continue to discuss things like this in the future. And hopefully get this thing going from here. Horn, do you want to add anything?
Everybody enjoy their holidays, and happy birthday, Buffalo.
Yes, happy birthday, Buffalo. Happy 420.